Okay, let's open our Zoom. Okay.
I kept trying to sign in on my walk because I thought you started.
No. Okay. Okay. So today we're gonna start the third chapter in Tanya, in the book of Tanya, and chapter 3. What we have learned in the first two chapters. First chapter was about the big news that every Jewish soul have every Jewish person have two identities inside him. Godly soul and animal soul, or natural soul. The godly soul, we have learned in the second chapter that this is one part from God above, truly. And we learned that we're talking about, as it's called in Yiddish, the pintale, the point, meaning the core of the godly soul is God. But through 9 months of pregnancy, or this is the analogy, it's the pregnancy, but if we're talking about the soul, it means that there is a process from the time when the soul is in heaven until the soul going inside the body. There is a process, and in that time, or in that process, the soul receiving its shape and its level. So every soul is a different level. The core of the soul is God Himself. In this there is no differences. But in the soul that we are physically having inside our body, or spiritually having inside our body, the godly soul have differences between me and you. There is, and we don't know exactly what soul do you have, what soul do you have, what soul I have. We don't know. We just know that in the core we are the same. In the process, the soul receiving 5 levels. One level is connected to action. One level is connected to what we're feeling, saying. One level is connected to our mind. One level is connected to our will and desire. And one level is connected with God above, is the core of the soul. So, we talked about this. And it's very important to understand this point, because we need to know that there is higher levels in souls. There is, as Alter Rebbe explained, all the souls are like one body. The body of the son, of the child. Okay? And God is like the parent. How the child know that he is connected, that he is one with his parents, with his parent? Because the child have brain, and the brain telling him, listen, this is your parents. Okay? So there is souls that they are like the fingernail, meaning the process was so intensive, the process was so strong until the soul came into the body, that it have even very small spirit. It's very not alive. You can cut it like the finger. But even the fingertip is connected with the brain. 1 second, I will need to let someone in. I don't see. Oh, yes. Okay, hello. We're still summarizing the previous chapter. So even the fingernail is connected with the brain of the child. That the brain telling this soul, you're connected with our father, with the parent. So there is souls that they are like the head, the brain. There is souls that they are like right hand. They're doing a lot of mitzvot. This is their passion to give. There is souls that they are like I don't know, like the left hand. There is souls that they are like the foot. It's divided, and there is souls that they are like the brains, and they are the leaders of the generation. Not because we need to understand what is a Jewish leader. The Jewish leader of the generation we see in the Bible. Every generation have a leader. Why we had a leader? Because they are very charismatic. Not this is the reason. The reason is because their soul is the brain of the generation, and the brain's mission is to connect all the body parts as one. And it means that in this soul, all the other souls are connected. And he even feels, when we having a pain in our hand, for example, what part feel it? The brains. So when a person is going through some problem, through some suffering, the general soul feels it. And this is the general soul of every generation. Now every generation is different. There is a different mission, so the brains are not the same also. The brain of the generation. Okay. I'm saying it also, today is the 10th of Shvat, is the day that the Lubavitcher Rebbe became the leader of Chabad movement. Today, 75 years ago. So he was a great example of a leader that feels the need even before the souls themselves need it, like the brain of the generation. Okay. Now in the third chapter, if you have any questions, you can ask. This is a general statement. And also in Google Meet. In the third chapter, we're going to start diving into the godly soul, how it's built. And this is very important. The godly soul is not a general identity, the soul. No, it's divided to parts, to level, like the body. You cannot say the body is one identity. No, the body is divided to many parts, many levels. And every part have its mission and its reason. And the same with the soul. Now the core of the soul is God. But the parts are not the core. And there is a difference. There is a story with Alter Rebbe actually, that is sitting with his grandson on his lap. Grandson was the third Chabad Rebbe. And the third Chabad Rebbe was an orphan, so Alter Rebbe raised him. And he asked his son, where's grandfather? You know this game. Where's grandfather? And he pointed on his beard, I think. He had a very big beard, Alter Rebbe. And Alter Rebbe said, no, this is grandfather's beard. It's not grandfather. He pointed on his face. This is grandfather's face. This is not grandfather. Pointed on his hand. This is my hand. This is not grandfather. So he left and he went to the corner of the room. And then he screamed, grandfather! And he turns. And he said, this is grandfather. What does that mean? There is a lot of parts, but there is you yourself. Who am I? This is me. No. The core of everything, the DNA, is everywhere. You cannot define it in a specific place, so the core of the soul is everywhere. But there is levels. And there is faculties. It's called faculties of the soul. And we will start.
You guys are missing some great soup, by the way, for those of you who didn't make it.
Yes. Yes, there is great soup here. Okay. So first we will explain. We can in our pages, turn our pages to the second paper, basically, that we have. It will be more clear here, actually. We have this. This is a map of the godly soul. The animal soul is almost the same, but different. Okay. So the soul is built from it's in Hebrew it's called sephirot. Sephirot. Okay. Here we can call it attributes, faculties of the soul, and it's divided to 10. 10 faculties. 10 faculties. 3 is the mind. 7 is emotion. And basically built, we can divide it even to 3, it will be more accurate. The mind, emotion, and action. Speaking is part of emotion, but we will get into that too in the next chapter. So 3 parts of the soul is in the mind, and 7 are in emotions. What are the 3 parts of the soul that connected to the mind? Meaning, as we said, the soul is the identity of the human being. So when a Jewish person learning Torah, who is learning Torah? Who is the person thinking? You can think this is the body. No, the body is only a vessel to the identity inside him, the soul. So the godly soul is learning Torah. So the godly soul, while it's learning Torah, it have three faculties in the process of learning. We will discuss maybe later what the animal soul doing while the godly soul learning Torah. It's also there. It's not going anywhere. And then actually learning Torah with him. But the godly soul is doing, this is the life inside the body. The first level in the godly mind, it's called chokhmah. Here we can see it in the right side. Chokhmah, intellect. Second level is binah, and that we will learn after. What is chokhmah? What I'm saying now is part of Kabbalah, mystics of Torah, with the explanation of Chassidut. I'm just saying it in general. We will discuss probably sometime what it means, what I just said, but it's Kabbalah with the explanation of Chassidut. Chokhmah, it's like, I don't know, I would hope that you will have some insight from the music world. Okay? Maybe you will, maybe you're not. Because maybe it's not related, I have no clue. But when a person is trying to think about something, you have a big question. In Talmud, it's very common. You see something that doesn't make sense, or 2 parts that contradict each other, or even sometimes you're trying to remember something that someone told you, and you're sitting and you have the aha moment. Oh, aurika, how it's called? Aurika? How you say it?
Eureka.
Eureka in English. In Hebrew, it's aurika. Meaning there is a moment that, this moment. In Chassidut, it's called, in Hebrew, barak hamavrik. It means that like a lightning. Imagine you're sitting in a room, total dark. You don't know, what is this room? Is this a living room? It's a dining room? Is it a bathroom? Is it a bedroom? What is it? It's total dark. It's there, you just don't see it. And for 1 second, there is a lightning. You see everything in 1 second. Now, this moment, this is the Chokhmah. Now, imagine this, let's go with this analogy of the lightning for a second. If a person sitting in a room and he doesn't know which room is it, and then there is this lightning. What he must do now, in order to really understand where he is, he needs to sit. Don't run to the door that you saw for a second, because you don't remember the details. Maybe there is tables, chairs, maybe you, because you forget in 10 seconds, you will forget all the details. Because you saw the idea. You did not understand the idea. In the eureka moment that you're doing, aha, you don't understand it. It's not understanding. It's seeing. Okay? So, you need to sit and think about the details. I saw window there. I saw door there. I saw table here, and it means that this room is this, and it means that we're probably in this floor, and it means this, and it means... Think about the details. Understand what you saw. This is a different level totally. From one hand, when you saw, it was 100% because you saw everything, you saw it. Okay? To understand, from one hand, is less than seeing. You know? Seeing is much stronger because I saw it, you know. I saw it. There's no question about it. What you understand, you can question 1 second after. Oh, maybe you did not understand correctly. But from the other hand, seeing is only while you're seeing it. You do not understand it. You cannot explain it. You cannot amplify it to different topics. You cannot learn from it. You just saw it. You know, if you saw in the street someone that don't know airplanes, and you saw airplane flying, he coming to his friend, he's listen, I saw airplane flying. I saw it. He doesn't know what he's talking about. You know? He saw it, he did not. But there is another story. A person never saw airplane flying, but he understands. Okay? Do he believes in it 100%? Probably not. Because if you never saw it, you only have the plans. I believe, if you understand it 100%, you believe in it 90%. But he can explain this to his friend, and he will understand it the same. So there is pluses and minuses in seeing and understanding. But it's two different levels. Okay? So let's say another analogy. And this analogy will a bit make this more relevant to the godly soul. Let's say a person have an idea, a good machine, a good development, a good whatever. And he's coming to his friend and he's telling him, listen, my friend, I must show you something. And he start explaining to him. And then he say, aha, I get what he's saying. Oh, this is very interesting. So he had the chokhmah, let's say, his friend. And then he explaining the details. And he said, oh, what about this? Maybe it's good for that. Maybe it's good for that. And then you have the understanding level, the bina. And then what happens? If it's good idea, positive. So he said, you know what? I like it. I like this idea very much. Meaning the intellect created emotions. If it's bad idea or terrifying, it's dangerous. Oh my, you should keep this as a secret because it's too dangerous. Or, you know, so the intellect create emotions according to what you have understood. This is how the godly soul operates. The godly soul is one part of God above, but it's now after a process, a strong process of coming down to earth. And now the godly soul need to rediscover God. Even though it is one of God, part of God, but only in its core. In the meantime, it's here. So godly soul have a way to connect with God by what is the best way? To think about God, to have chokhmah, to understand God, to have binah, and then to create emotions. This is the identity of the godly soul. Intellect and emotions. Intellect, we talked about 2 levels from 3. Yes, you saw it? Understood? And emotions are 7, but in general they are 2, positive and negative. What is negative about God? Negative, it doesn't mean that against. It means respect, love and respect. One emotion would be love. You think about how God is great and how He brought you to this moment that, thank God, you have health and good life and a family and whatever, and all the good things that you have. And from all the 7 billion people, or all the animals, He chose you to be in this position that you can do all the things that you can do. This is amazing. And even there is many ways that Dr. Rebbe will talk about how to think about the love that God have to you. And this would create positive emotions back. And there is another important thing to think about. We all know that love without respect is no love. You know, the fisherman, as we say in Hebrew, the fisherman loves fish. But he catch them, kill them, and then selling them. But he loves them, you know. But he doesn't respect he respects fish when it serves him. Okay? And it's not bad. Okay, it's good. But love need to be with respect. So you can respect God, that He's the creator of the universe, and He's standing here. When you think about this, getting some, for a bit you are serious, because you understand that you're standing in the presence of the King of Kings, and it's also very important. So the emotions are divided into 2, chesed and gevura. Chesed, okay, kindness, love, and many other attributes are connected with chesed. In Hebrew, chesed is kindness. Gevura, severity?
Severity, yeah.
Severity, okay, good word. It's all connected, divided to right and left. And in the middle there is a middle line. But the middle line of emotion, I skipped the middle level of wisdom. We will go back to that in the end of the chapter. The middle line, the middle emotion between chesed, that this is kindness, and gevura, that this is severity or awe, fear, respect, is tiferet, and tiferet is beauty. Beauty is coming from a combination of 2 things. As you said, your father is a painter, and you also know some painters, no? In your family? You told me that someone is painter? No.
I didn't tell you that.
No. But
I have a great story.
Yeah.
I'll tell you after.
Okay. The combination of 2 things together, this is beauty. So this is in general the three general emotions. After that, the second level of emotions, we can see here, this is a mistake. Netzach, Hod, and Yesod, they are basically continuing, the Netzach is continuing of Chesed, Hod is continuing Gvura, when the emotion becoming more and more connected with action. Because after understanding and feeling, you're telling your friend, listen, okay, if you're feeling that this is great development, you're telling your friend, listen, I love it. You're calling your friend, telling him, listen, you must come see what I saw now. Okay, you're doing something. So the emotions getting more and more connected, more simple, and more detailed, more connected to action. Action is malchut. The last one is action. Malchut. Okay. Let's go back to that. And basically, I'm summarizing all the chapters now. If we go into that, let's go back to this analogy that we said about this machine. Let's say I'm calling my friend, I'm telling him I want to show you this machine. He's coming. You have the chokhmah, you have the bina, and then he's saying, I like it, this machine is good. And he's saying, wow, this is great, this is so nice. And then he's getting a phone call. And this is his mother telling him, listen, I need your help with this. I must go. He's going. He forgot about what you showed him. Can it happen? Can happen every day to every person. This is one example. This is Chokhmah Bina Chesed. There was no da'at. What was missing? I will tell you what was missing with the same example, with a small difference. Let's say I called my friend again. I show him my machine and he had Chokhmah and he had Bina. And then he's saying, oh wow, I love this idea. I can make a lot of money from this. This is great. I can use it. Whatever. He finds some relevance to him. This is connected to him. He finds himself in this idea. He has some connection. This is connected to me. Not because of emotions. In his intellect, in his mind, he finds connection between him and the idea. And then he receiving a phone call with his mother and saying, yes, I will help you. And then he will not forget about this idea because he found himself in the idea.
So once it becomes a part of you.
Once it becomes relevant to you, it will not, the emotions that will be created were not, imagine you see in the news, North Korea developed the biggest bomb. Most of the people who read it will be, oh, this is not good news, bad news. But then they will move on. But if someone in Israel read that Iran is prepared to say, it will be more relevant. When it's more relevant, you're not forgetting after a second about this. It's relevant to me. It means that you can have chesed or gevura, you can have emotions being created from chokhmah and bina. But are those emotions real or not? It's dependent on the fact how much you yourself were invested in this idea. How much you find yourself this idea relevant to you. So when a person thinking of how God is great, he can feel whatever. Great, but he must, if he wants the emotions that were being created to be real, he needs to be himself in this equation of how God is great to me. Or, you understand? This is that. In the Torah, when the Torah describes intimacy, the Torah is saying that, because it means that this idea is relevant to me. It's connected to me. If we talk about people, there is people that they are chokhmah people. A teacher teaching something in his class, you can see one kid, talented, that he is being inspired from the idea what the teacher said. This kid have chokhmah-like understanding. But you will ask this, he will be even excited. But if you will need to explain this idea, it will be hard for him. Oh, what you can learn from it? No, I like this idea. He's more the idea person. There is a child that will hear the same idea from the teacher, and he will find connection. Oh, this idea is connected with another idea, or this can solve a different problem, or he will ask questions, and he will go into the details of this idea. This kid is more about bina, is understanding less. This kid will be less creative in his idea, but when he understands the idea, he understands it. He can talk about it. He can ask questions. He can go into the details. And there is a child that when he will hear an idea, it will change his mindset. He will be changed because it will catch him. It will change him. This is that kid. He finds ideas relevant to him. A person, in order to use his godly soul properly, he needs to train himself to think, when he learns something, to have the chokhmah, and to have the binah, and to have the da'at, and from that to create emotions. This is how the godly soul operates. We need to understand that what we are now learning is how we can engage with the godly soul in our daily life. Where we meet the godly soul. Where we meet, when and where. So, of course, you meet the godly soul, first of all, when you're learning Torah. And when you have a new idea, you met Chokhmah of the godly soul. When you understand the idea, you met Binah of the godly soul. We did not finish. We have the next chapters, we'll understand more. And when you find it relevant to you, you met that. And when you have positive emotion, you met Chesed. This is what Alter Rebbe gives us. Okay? This is in general chapter 3. Okay? Any questions?
No, thanks for the lesson.
Now we can read a bit. And we'll see it inside Alter Rebbe's words.
Amen.
Okay. So I would read. Okay, it's fine. From page 61. This is CHABAD or it's Tanya. It's a very good one. It's
I got mixed up here. There it is.
Yeah. Now the divine soul, on each of her 3 distinct levels of nefesh, ruach, and neshama, we said that there is 5 parts of the godly soul. 3 of them are inside the body. So each one of them have the 10 attributes. We will not go into the details. It means it have 30 attributes, but we will not go into the details. Okay. Consists of 10 faculties corresponding to the 10 sephirot of the higher divine world. I will say a few words about that in a second. These faculties are actually micro versions of those sephirot, the outcome of a long process of descent through the chain of countless spiritual worlds. So those 10 sephirot that we talked about, we can see it here in a different, maybe more simple way. Those 10 sephirot are basically also the way that the spiritual worlds are built. You need to understand that God created the spiritual worlds. Let's say like this. God is simple. I always say this. God is simple because if He is built in a system or in a way, in a shape, spiritual shape, it means that He's not simple. It means that He's not the creator. The creator is not infinite. He's simple. He's not perfect. He's just simple. Because perfect, it means that He has everything. He doesn't have everything. If He wants, He has. If He doesn't. So how from a simple being, simple, it means that it have and doesn't have everything at once. Understand? can be created so detailed world of billions of billions of billions of billions of billions of infinite billions of details? How can
You don't overthink it.
you don't overthink it? But if you want to think about it, what you should do? You should not think about it.
I don't really know the answer.
Okay, it's fine. It's fine. So, the mystics of Torah are telling us the secret of the answer. The answer. God created spiritual levels that they are infinite, but still they are levels. For example, He created. We talked about the chain of worlds, spiritual worlds. In those spiritual worlds, He created those 10 attributes, those 10 sefirot. And in Chokhmah, there is infinite Chokhmah. In Binah, there is infinite Binah. Every level is infinite. But then, it becoming smaller and smaller, He created a system in the spiritual worlds. That this system is the mirror of our physical world in a spiritual way. I mean, God could have created details also from a simple being, from Him Himself. But He wanted to create something of a source to our physical world. Spiritual source that we can connect to, we can relate to. Because to God Himself we cannot relate, we cannot connect. For now, in this chapter. How we can connect with God Himself? We have no way, because we are limited. We are built from this feeling, this character, that character. How we can connect with the Creator that is just simple? That's why there is the spiritual worlds. When the godly soul have the chokhmah and the bina and the da'at and emotions, it developed a small emotion, a small understanding of God. How it's connected with God Himself? It's not. It's connect with the 10 sefirot that God have created. Those 10 holy spiritual levels that God created, the godly soul can connect with them. Is it God Himself? No. It's what God created in order to be connected with the world in a spiritual way. Okay? So there is...
Meaning God is connected to this world through our godly souls?
No, so this... God is connected with the world through the 4 worlds that He has, spiritual holy worlds that He has created. And in those spiritual worlds, there is the 10 sefirot in each world. And parallel to that, our godly soul also have those spiritual, the 10 sefirot. Parallel to the spiritual world that God has created. This is kind of a bridge between simple God to the limited physical world. There is this spiritual world that built from details that we can relate to through our godly soul. Okay, let's continue. Those 10 sefirot are divided into 2 categories. 3 are called mothers and 7 called doubles. Doubles, sorry. Okay, we'll not go why it's called doubles. I see here it's talking mothers. We understand why it's being called mothers. Because they are the parent of the emotions. In our natural soul, I already saying something that the Alter Rebbe will explain later. In our natural soul, we don't need to understand before feeling. We can feel before we understand even. We see something we don't like. I don't like it. You see something and you're feeling according to the level you understood. But it's not mean that you understood and then the feeling were born from the understanding. No, the feeling was the feeling was in the same time of the understanding. For example, a baby is born, is crying. Why? It's not comfortable. That's why he's crying. What he understood, it's not comfortable. He's growing up, he understands that candy is better than bread. You understand it? That's what he wants. He growing up, he understands that a game is better than, I don't know what, from reading. So he wants that. So the emotion is the same, just the understanding group. So the understanding is not the father and mother of the emotions. The emotions are there, always. In the godly soul, the mind is the father and mother of the emotions. If there is no father and mother, there is no emotions. This is a huge difference between the godly soul and the animal soul. That's why the animal soul is winning. Because emotions are stronger in a way than understanding. Who is stronger, animal, an ox, or a human being? The ox is strong. If the human being sitting on the ox and learning how to manage it, he is winning. But if they are both on the ground and they are fighting each other, the animal will win. He's stronger. So emotions are stronger than understanding. But if you, with your mind, controlling the emotions, you will win. And this is the tool of the godly soul. But I already moving on but let's focus about today. The three mothers are Chokhmah, Bina, and Dat. Chokhmah is wisdom or conception. Bina, understanding or comprehending. Comprehending. And Dat, knowing, consciousness, and bonding. The seven doubles are the seven powers by which the world was constructed in the 7 days of creation. Okay. Chesed, what is that? Benevolence. Gevura, might, Tiferet, beauty, and four more. As you see, Alter Rebbe is not going into the details of the emotions because the general emotions are those three. As it is above, so too in the divine soul within a human being, the 10 faculties of the soul are divided into two categories, intelligence and emotions. Intelligence comprises Chokhmah, Bina, and Dat. The emotions are love of God, awe and reverence towards Him, a drive to glorify and praise Him. You see, this is Chesed, Gevura, and Tiferet. Yes, you understood? As well as others along the same lines. Chokhmah, Bina, and Dat are called the mothers and the wellsprings of the emotions because emotions are the children of the mind. This is how the mind gives birth to emotions. Alter Rebbe explained nicely, very nice, how it works. I'm in page 60.
63
It's
now.
supposed to be 63. There it is. Sorry. Okay, so now it's 64. Yeah. The intelligence of the divine soul's mind, the faculty that enables her to conceive any idea, is called Chokhmah, which is comprised of two words, Koach, Ma. Koach means potential. Ma means what? Referring to something undefined, beyond knowing. You know, but you don't know what you know. Yes, as we spoke about it. Like the lightning, like our eureka moment. You see, in order to know what you saw, you need to think about it. But Chokhmah is the moment that you're seeing the idea. It will serve us later, okay? Let's say like this. as I even said before, let's say you walk in the street and you see now in Tanya, Navamante, you see a camel flying. You see a camel flying. You think you're dreaming. You look again. You see the camel is flying. Okay? You saw it. You're coming home. You're telling your wife, listen, I saw a camel flying in Navamat. Now, your wife is believing you, of course. You saw. Nothing she can do about it. But she is 100% sure that camel flies in Navamat. She's not. Why? Because she didn't saw it. You saw it. So we can argue till tomorrow. I don't understand it, but I know it for sure because I saw it. So if we talk about certainty of the godly soul about God, the godly soul can understand God. The godly soul can find God relevant, but the godly soul also see God. A certainty, if you talk about levels of certainty, when you see something, you're certain more than understand. I know that a plane can fly. Why? Because I was in one, I saw it, I experienced it. If you will give me the plans and let's say I will understand them, I will not be certain that the plane can fly. Because if we talk about certainty, Chokhmah is stronger than Bina. And certainty is very important if we talk about belief. The belief of our understanding and belief of Chokhmah is two different worlds. And we in our souls have both. We have them. We just need to reveal them. Because the soul is built from Chokhmah and Bina. All the time. The question is, have you revealed the true certainty of Chokhmah? Have you revealed the certainty of Bina of your soul? If you did reveal that, so you experience it in your daily lives. So, Chokhmah, potential, what? Meaning, I see something, I don't know what is it, but I see it. This is Chokhmah. Okay. So Chokhmah, Alter Rebbe explained. Let's continue. Page 65. You now have some packet of Chokhmah from your mind. The next step is when you make this potential real, you can contemplate it, trying to understand something of it thoroughly and deeply. This is called Bina. These two, Chokhmah and Bina, are the father and mother to give birth to emotions. Love of God or of Him, and palpable reverence for Him. Let's talk a bit more about father and mother. Why Chokhmah is father and Bina is mother? We talked last chapter that the father and mother together creating the child. But the father gives one drop and the mother creates the details. Meaning, if you talk about difference between male and female, I think this computer is stuck, whatever, doesn't matter. Yeah, it's totally stuck. If you talk about male and female, male are more general, and females are more about the details. Because in the time of consumption, the male giving a general drop of seed, and through 9 months, this seed developed to become a whole human being by the mother. So, Chokhmah is the eureka moment. You don't understand nothing. You just have one lightning, one drop, that in this drop you have all the details. But you don't know the details. And then Bina, this is Chokhmah, it's like the father. And Bina is like the mother, it's about the details. Less certainty, more understanding. So that's why Chokhmah and Bina are called father and mother. And that is the intimacy between Chokhmah and Bina, between the father and mother, and then they have a child. Emotion. It's exactly like father and mother having a child. Okay? Yes, let's continue. How does your mind give birth to emotions? Page 66. It starts when your divine soul's mind engage in a very deep contemplation of God's greatness. How He pervades all worlds, how He transcends all worlds, or how everything might as well be nothing relative to Him. When you do this, a sense of reverence before something much greater than you is born in your mind. This newborn awareness awakens, affecting your thoughts, filling you with a sense of awe and embracement from God's greatness, because it is greatness without end. How do you say this word?
Palpable.
What is that?
Palpable is something like you can feel, or something that's like actually breathing.
Okay. Maybe it's enough.
I want to make sure I'm right.
Okay. Meaning something alive?
Yeah.
Palpable?
It's a feeling or atmosphere so intense as to seem tangible.
Okay,
as
tangible.
You're able to touch it.
How you say this word again?
Palpable.
Palpable. Fear of God being to throb. No.
Yeah, throb in your heart.
Throb in your heart. And then, it's 3 words in Hebrew, I'm just saying. And then, your heart ignite in love as fierce as flaming fire, yearning, desiring, longing, a soul longing for the greatness of the infinite. This is the meaning of soul swooning out of love. There is a concept. There is a concept in mystics of Torah, that a person can be so flamed with love to God, meaning you can think, when a person thinking about God, you can think many things, and the emotion being created according to the thoughts that he thought. So if he thinks how everything in the world is basically God, and how the world is meaning nothing, and how God is the only greatness that there is, or thing like this, and basically he can flame his feelings towards being one with God. As we said in the 2nd chapter, the soul, because its core is God, its only wish is basically to be one with God. It doesn't care about itself. So if you ignite this flame, in the end it can decide, okay, bye, I'm going back to God, and it's doing it. And a person can die. Because this feeling is there. You just need to encourage it. It's not the purpose. It's not good. God doesn't want people to die. But this feeling is holy feeling of the godly soul. That is say to it, the godly soul can say to itself, this world is bad because we don't see God here. And the yearning is so strong. I want to be one with God. This good feeling. As long as it's bringing to more action. But in theory, this is the concept. This is what Tanya said. That from thought you can create this strong emotion. Such a strong emotion. Imagine that there is holy people that living with this emotion. Every second. There is. So, but why they are not leaving the world? Because they know that even so the godly soul wants this. This is a feeling of the godly soul. But God is not about feeling. This is holy feeling, and it's good if it's pushing you to action. Okay. We will talk more later about this. Okay. As it's written, my soul yearns. King David is writing, my soul yearns. She even swoons for the courtyards of God. My heart and my flesh sing to the gods of life. And as written, my soul thirsts for God, for the living God. Oh, when will I come to appear before God? Yes, King David. You know, the songs of King David are not like songs of today, poems. This is a real feeling of a real person, literally. And as written, my soul thirsts for you, my flesh yearns for you. Page 67. This thirst stems from the fire element of the divine soul, as the naturalists write. And so it's also written in Etz Chaim, the element of fire is in the heart. We said that godly soul have minds and emotion. The minds in the person's brain, and the emotion they are in the person's heart. And the Etz Chaim write that the element of fire of the godly soul is in the heart. So when you ignite the heart is just burning to God, want to go up. But the source of the water and moisture element is in the brain. As stated in Etz Chaim 450, Chokhmah is the water of the divine soul. We already said that Bina is about the details. And Chokhmah is about the point. Water have this element of uniting. You know, water is uniting. Fire have this element of separating. Okay? So after Chokhmah and Bina, so Bina is the details, Chokhmah is the point. And yes, he's just mentioning that the heart is going up, and the Chokhmah is bringing the idea down, like water. This describes the birthing of the emotions of awe and love. The rest of the divine soul's emotions are branches and offshoots of those as described elsewhere. Okay? Understood? Now we're coming to the dot. After this, you ask yourself, why we need dot? What is it? What it's doing? As we said before. We've described Chokhmah and Bina as fardat, knowing. This is the term the Torah uses to describe the first intimate union. And Adam knew Eve. This is how the Torah said. Adam knew Eve. And then they had a son. Accordingly, that is not how you accumulate knowledge, but how you connect and identify with that knowledge. To achieve that, you need to fasten your mind in contemplation with a very firm and strong knot, intensely fixing your thought upon the greatness of the infinite God. You don't let your mind wander. Let's continue to see something here. Chokhmah, the, into a flash, okay, very nice. Bina, the exception of Dana, very nice. That, the connector. Okay. You see, it looks like we're building a project here in Tanya. Okay. Okay, this is too not connected. Okay, this we Yes, this is the klot nefesh, when the soul is going out of the body. This we mentioned. Water is in the brain. Okay. Okay. Cooling mechanism. Okay. 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 So let's continue. To achieve that, you need, yes, sorry. This connection through intense focus is crucial. You could be wise and understanding in the greatness of the infinite. But if you don't fixate your mind and focus your thoughts firmly and persistently in your contemplation of that wisdom and understanding, your soul won't give birth to genuine awe and love. Without that, whatever emotions you achieve are but vain delusions. And this is huge, because Alter Rebbe is not saying, if you don't have that, you don't have emotions. He doesn't say that. And this I find personally very, very important. Alter Rebbe is saying, if you don't have that, you have emotions. Those emotions are not real. It's not that it will be much simpler if a person think that he's doing the right thing, but then he's discovering that no, because he doesn't have emotions. Alter Rebbe is saying, no, you will have emotions, delusions you will have. And you see many people think that they created some system, they think about God, they love God, they fear God. It's emotions, not real. Those emotions are delusions. I'm saying this as a person that know communities, and sometimes you think to yourself, no, this is not, something is not real here. And then you're doing a test as someone is going out of the community, what's happening to him? Is this real or not? Yesterday, when you're living in city, surrounded by your friends from childhood, you're going to your rabbi every single Shabbat, and you singing the songs, you learning Torah, you having emotions. Looks fine. But then you take him out, nothing. Oh. Why is that? Because they were not emotions, they were delusions. They were dreams. It's not real. It's not real. Chabad is Chokhmah Bina Da'at. This is the meaning of the word Chabad. Because the secret of Alter Rebbe is that I will teach you Chassidut. And you yourself, alone, in your home, separated from all your friends, will be able to think about God, understand it, make it relevant to your life, and then create a real emotions. And then you will not need to live in a community. And 200 years later, the concept of shlichut, living far from the community, can be real. Because Chabad is about real emotions. And real emotions is a work that I myself do with myself. Fake emotions we can do together. If we all coming together and singing and dancing, we can have fake emotions. And you don't know if it's real or fake. So that's why Chabad was different from the start. Because Alter Rebbe said we need to teach the people how you say in English, DIY, DIY.
Do it yourself.
Do it yourself, DIY. In other communities, this of Hasidut, descendants of the students of Baal Shem Tov, they did not believe in do it yourself. They believed, let's do it together. The Rebbe will do most of it, and the rest will do the atmosphere, and it's fine. We will stay in our small communities. The Rebbe said, no, do it yourself. And to do it yourself, you must have Chabad. What is Chabad?